about split, so definitely indicates, and I'm looking at Pinochle, which is a sharp book, and it's low. The spread there is lower than anywhere else, but it looks like it's probably going to go back up to 13. I think that's too many points for a coach like Dan Mullen. I think his team will learn from their awful performance, and even though we won and covered the spread we gave out to clients, I thought Florida should have won the game by more. And as a reminder, I did give Florida out in my premium news pick newsletter, so it's just a reminder on that.
Subscribe to Freddie's Premium Sports Picks newsletter. Free at FreddieWills.com.
3-2-1 this season on those, over 60% for my career. So check that out. Last game, Washington at Stanford. Someone please explain this game to me. Stanford +9 first downs. They had a 482 to 294 in yard edge, +1 turnovers. I still don't get it. Washington was 4-1 against the spread. I backed off them this week, and I was happy I did. But really thought Washington was going to start to take control of this conference and dominate. It's like no one wants to take control of this Pac-12. I mean, Oregon didn't look great this week either against Cal. They were supposed to I heard every freaking handicapper, every professional out there saying Oregon was going to kick Cal's ass this past week as 18-point favorites. They won by 10, and that was a 3-point game late. I just don't get this conference. Washington, very disappointing. I think maybe we'll get value with them off that game because Stanford was struggling against all kinds of teams. Washington, a 6.5-point favorite at Arizona, who's coming off a big win at Colorado. So, again, another buy low, sell high situation. So we may want to tease Washington because I think off a loss they're gonna do well, and I'd like to look back at Chris Peterson's history off a loss. Because if you tease them, they just have to win. And I think we're already getting like 3-4 points of line value. Had Washington beat Stanford, this spread might have been 9.5, 10.5, 11. I mean, that's just my opinion on it. So I think we're getting like 10 points of line value if we tease it. So that may be a teaser candidate, but I wonder if Washington's dreams have been crushed now with 2 losses. I'll have to dig into it more and see where the players are at. I feel like Stanford will get too much credit for that win, but they are on a bye this week, so we can't really take advantage of it, and they may get a lot healthier after the bye. I know they've been really banged up, so we'll have to take all of that with a grain of salt. So that wraps up today's podcast. Thanks for listening, guys. Again, make sure you leave me some reviews if you enjoy what you hear. I know a lot of you guys do, and you comment on Twitter. But please, 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 on iTunes or whatever podcast you guys download me on, please, please, please leave some nice reviews there. That definitely helps grow this podcast. So thanks again for listening, and good luck this coming week. Thank you for listening to another episode of the Freddie Wills College Football Betting Podcast. If you are still listening to this podcast, you are really into college football betting, and if you are really into college football betting, you should consider following my premium plays, especially my play of the days, which have hit roughly 60% against the spread over my 10-year career. If you aren't into paying for picks, that's totally fine. There are many reasons why I wouldn't even want you to, especially if you don't have the bankroll. In that case, you may want to consider visiting sportsbetcapping.com for free picks from over 70 handicapping experts. That's sportsbetcapping.com for access to free picks on all major sports. Thanks again for listening to this podcast, and as a reminder, please leave 5-star reviews on iTunes and take advantage of my premium pick newsletter, absolutely free, at FreddieWills.com.